Good morning, dear students. In previous class, we have studied about the derivation regarding the dipole. So, on the axial line and the equatorial plane, and that expression we have discussed. Now, today we are going to discuss about the torque. So, we all know that in the region of electric field, when a charge Q enters, it will experience a force. Right? But let us consider this region. Here, the electric field is present. If one charge Q, it will enter into this region. Let Q be the charge. When it enter into this region, it will experience the force. That force is given by F is equal to E into Q, where E is the electric field and Q is the charge, and F is the force experienced by this charge. Instead of this charge Q, if a dipole is entering into the region, what will happen? That here we are going to discuss. Let us consider a region of uniform electric field. This is called as uniform electric field. So the value of electric field at all the point will be same. This is nothing but the uniform electric field. In this region, if a dipole, let us consider this as a dipole. So dipole is nothing but it consists of the two charges, minus q charge and the plus q charge. They separated by a distance of 2a. So when it is entered into this region, it will deflect. So it will deflect like this. So okay, here let us consider this as a positive charge plus q. Here it is minus q charge. When it is deflect, it will produce a surface. That waste per unit length is called as torque. So okay, so along this direction the electric field will be, so force due to this charge will be, it is F E into Q. Here it will be along this direction, that is E into Q. As both the charges are equal and opposite, they will produce the force in two different directions. Due to this two equal and opposite forces, this dipole it will oscillate with an angle called as theta. So now we have to find out what is the expression for this torque. So now we are going to derive the expression for torque when it is placed in uniform external field. So when it is placed here, let us see here, AB is a dipole minus Q charge plus Q charge. When it is placed in uniform electric field E, it will oscillate. So with an angle theta with respect to electric field, 2A is the length of the dipole. So let us extend. So draw this. So AO and OB are the perpendiculars. So this angle is nothing but it is theta. So we all know that torque is nothing but force into perpendicular distance. That is tau is equal to F into, here the perpendicular distance is nothing but it is OA is the perpendicular distance. So here written here, tau is equal to F into OA. But what is F? F is nothing but tau is equal to F is nothing but it is E into Q into OA. So now we have to get the value of OA. So see here, triangle AOB. From this triangle AOB, if this angle is theta, so OA we can calculate by taking the sine theta. We know that sine theta is equal to, it is opposite divided by hypotenuse. Opposite is nothing but it is OA divided by hypotenuse is nothing but it is AB. So this implies OA is equal to, it is AB sine theta. But what is AB? AB is nothing but it is 2A. Therefore it is 2A sine theta. Now substitute here. Tau is equal to E into Q into 2A sine theta. But what is 2A into Q? 2A into Q is nothing but P is the dipole moment. Therefore we are getting the final equation as tau is equal to PE sine theta. Okay. So now we are going to write it in vector form. So vector tau is equal to vector E cross vector P. So this is representation in vector form. Now special cases. Now take this equation sin theta. If theta is equal to 0 degree, sin 0 degree is nothing but it is 0. Therefore tau is equal to 0. That is nothing but when the dipole is along the direction of electric field. So dipole and the electric field are on the same direction, then you are getting tau is equal to 0. So in other case, if theta is equal to 90 degree, sin 90 degree is equal to 1. Therefore tau is equal to PE is the maximum value. So okay, this is all about the top. So after this top, one more definition is that this definition is nothing but electric flux. So electric flux is nothing but the number of free lines passing normally to the given area element. If it is one area element, all the electric free lines, if they are passing normally to this area element, then these all collectively the electric free lines are called as electric flux. The number of free lines passing normally to the given area element is called as, it is electric flux. It is given by phi. Phi is equal to E into delta S, that is equal to E into delta S into cos theta, where this cos theta is a component of electric field along the direction of horizontal. So SI unit, so SI unit for this electric field is nothing but it is Newton per Coulomb, and the SI unit for area is nothing but it is meter square. Therefore, Newton meter square per Coulomb is the SI unit for this electric flux. Okay, so next we are going to discuss about the charge distribution. So charge distribution. In charge distribution, there are mainly two types of charge distribution. One, discontinuous charge distribution. Another one is continuous charge distribution. Discontinuous charge distribution is nothing but, let us consider one system. In this system, if the charges are present like this, this is called as discontinuous charge distribution. Why this is called a discontinuous charge distribution means the distribution of the charges is not uniform here. Some charges are present here, some charges are present here. This type of distribution is called as discontinuous charge distribution. Now continuous charge distribution is nothing but, let us consider a sphere. In this sphere, the charges are uniformly distributed. This type of distribution is called as continuous charge distribution. In this continuous charge distribution, we are going to study three types. That is nothing but linear charge distribution. Second one, surface charge distribution or area charge distribution. And third one is nothing but it is volume charge distribution. Now, definition. The linear charge distribution is nothing but, you have studied that it is denoted by lambda. It is nothing but the ratio of charge per unit length of the wire. So if it is a length in which the charges are present like this, if the length it will be L, then the charge per unit length of the wire is called as, it is lambda, that is linear charge distribution. If it is a circle, the circle is charged, then for this it will be lambda is equal to Q divided by L, but the length of the circle is nothing but it is the circumference, that will be Q is equal, lambda is equal to Q divided by 2 pi r. Similarly, we can define the surface charge density. Surface charge density is nothing but it is the charge per unit area of the conductor, that is sigma is equal to Q divided by A. For a sphere, the area is equal to, it is 4 pi r square, where r is the radius. Then sigma is equal to Q divided by 4 pi r square. Okay. For this volume charge density, so this rho is equal to Q divided by V, where V is the volume of the conductor. So for a sphere, volume of the sphere is equal to 4 by 3 pi r cube. Therefore, you can write it as rho is equal to Q divided by, it will be 4 by 3 pi r cube. Okay, here we can write the expression for electric field as E is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. It is rho into V divided by, it is r square, where this rho is called as surface volume charge density and the V is nothing but volume of the sphere. So this is all about this continuous charge distribution.